Join us and help us continue to support the many talented people of our community. Learn how to get your business highlighted on La Crosse Local. Go to lacrosselocal.com and click on Advertise. The 1925 American silent horror film The Phantom of the Opera is coming to La Crosse on Halloween night. Featuring the Mighty Moeller organ, enjoy the silent film with the accompaniment it deserves at the Capella Performing Arts Center. Get tickets online at capellaperformingartscenter.com. We connect with Justin Urness, local solo musician and lead singer and guitarist for The WRST. We talk about his new album, Lift Bridge, and the process for creating and recording new songs. Justin walks us through each of the 3 tracks and lets us know how to connect with this talented local. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is La Crosse Local.
Lighting above, starting a biz, carry you in, don't leave me alone, nobody's home to give you a lift, I have to give, brought up a bridge.
We haven't chatted since episode 65, so it's been a little while here, probably about going on over 2 years when we talked with you together with The WRST. Now you have this solo project, self-titled, new sort of 3-piece album or EP, Lift Bridge. How did this project get its start?
I had a bunch of songs rolling around in my head, and honestly, Lift Bridge, I had played, and we have been playing that song live, but it turned out a lot different than the way that it was in my head. So I was like, well, I'll just record a version of it. And so Lift Bridge, that song started out as a part, like there's like a main riff in that song. And that originally, when I was writing it, I just started writing riffs, and I was like, well, I'll just kind of string these together and see if I can make them into a song. So the second song on the Lift Bridge EP was the second part of what was originally just going to be one song. And same with the third song. Like, they were all just one song to begin with. And if you listen to them all back to back, you can hear it. One just kind of, I put a little space between the songs on the EP, but you could just put them all together. The last note of the first song is the first note of the second song. You know what I mean?
That's wild.
Yeah. I just kind of broke it up, and I was like, well, I'll just make this riff into a full song, and I'll do the same thing with the second one and the same thing with the third one.
Run it on ground, leave your lips, keep it to yourself. Eyes of a glow, can't you protect it? It's dead to you now. Fingers are sore, to never not end. Swallow the last one.
There's actually 5 more songs after this, but these 3 are the ones that really kind of started it. And the other 5, they fit and everything, but they don't fit as well. And they kind of fit together more as a piece to themselves, So there's 5 more songs done and ready to go. I haven't put out music on my own in such a long time. I don't really know what I'm doing here. So I've got all this stuff, and I like to record at home. I write by recording. So I'm like, well, I might as well just do this stuff myself too. It's not that the WRST is not a thing anymore. It's just, might as well just do something with the stuff I've already got.
Does the additional 5 songs that may see the light of day, does that kind of follow that same 1 through 3, that same approach, those notes going through the whole thing, or is it uniquely different?
I thought I was writing in the same key when I got to the 4th song, but it turns out I was writing in a similar key, but they're all in that similar key. Even the first 3 songs on that one, I'm not even sure how to break that up, if it'll be 3 separate tracks or what, because they all just kind of just go boom, boom, boom. There is a slightly different feel, a little bit more of an upbeat thing, where the first 3 songs are pretty like kind of reverent or something like that. They all really work together really well, and the next 5 are decidedly different, maybe a little more fun, I guess, a little more varied.
Sounds like you have been playing this out with The WRST anyways. Do some of the musicians kind of make an appearance on this album as well, or is this 100% your piece?
No, this is all me.
All you, huh?
Yeah. I did the drums, but I kind of programmed them with, I was pushing the buttons on a sampler or MIDI controller to play the drums and everything. Played all the bass parts and all the weird little, like if you listen to Gomer is one that has like a lot of extra stuff going on in the background. I did it all, and it's not as good as the worst, but it's fun anyway.
That's a good way to explain it. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe good, maybe bad. Was it easier that way then? To write, to kind of create them, and also just get them out. I mean, was that kind of made you cuffless in some sense, and being able to push it out there quicker? Or
yeah, for sure. Working on my own is just like, well, I'll just record these songs in my own time as fast as I want, and just release it whenever I want. I got my friend Bethany to do some work on the cover art, which I thought looked really friggin' cool. Having total control over like the mix, the recording, the writing, the whole release schedule and all that is 100% more efficient and quicker and stuff on your own, but it's definitely not as effective. And like writing the parts is a lot more stressful, trying to come up with bass parts when I'm not really a bass player. Same with the drums. It's like the stuff that I write and just bring to the worst, and even just bringing that song to the worst, it was like we practiced it a few times and it was already really starting to come together with people that are way better at playing, drums and bass and another guitar than I am. So that part is way quicker. Like the writing seems to come together quicker and like more naturally and better, honestly. It's obviously a lot slower trying to get the band together. And then if we're going to record stuff, which we are getting ready to do, but it's like everybody's got to be on the same page. And now we want it to sound better, so we're going to have somebody else do it. And the whole release thing, being a band that we're actually trying to promote and everything, like the release schedule and stuff, it's got to be a lot slower and it's got to reach a lot more people. Whereas this kind of just came out to my friends and like people that have been listening to me for a long time. I haven't released music as a solo project in 10 years. So like I kind of took like a 5-year break after the last album that I did, and then started playing with the Worst, and then that's been the thing for 5 years. So this is kind of coming out of nowhere to like no one in particular,
So lyrically, where do you pull that sort of stuff from, text wise?
I try not to think about the lyrics too much. Mostly what happens is I write like a guitar part or like a full song full of guitar parts and stuff, and then I'll start writing lyrics, but I don't like write about anything. The songs are pretty much all kind of about the same thing, which is whatever I happen to be going through. It's more important to me that the lyrics and like the cadence of how you can sing everything sounds really musical, more so than having some sort of understandable narrative or anything like that, or subject.
So, I mean, speaking of that, I've heard other singers kind of reference lyrics as more of a instrument versus, used to kind of push the song along versus narrative. Vocally, right. It seems like you do that a lot too. It seems like in some ways, when I listen to Worst, I listen to this album, there seems to be the way you sing changes almost in some of these. I mean, instantly, and I've always associated with some of your vocals to the lead singer of the Decemberists in some ways. Lift Bridge to me is that example. But then you go to, rapping or, beatboxing, whatever it is. Is that on purpose, or do you you're doing that, or do you feel like it's all coming from that one voice?
The way that I've kind of tried to develop my singing voice is just my own voice, trying to step into my own voice instead of like trying to sound like anything, and really trying to explore what I can do with my voice rather than trying to sound like anybody or emulate somebody. And like the different styles are just me having fun doing, different things. It's not like I'm trying to do a lot of different things, but I'm a big fan of a lot of different types of music. And if I want to do something in a different style, I'm just going to do it because why not? And it's fun and I love it. And if I were to try to sound like a certain thing or narrow my scope, then I would hate it and it would sound bad. So
I've also noticed, and I think you've been doing them for a while, but, a lot of the open jams that you guys do, and it seems like you're always leading them. Did that help in that way, kind of getting these new songs out?
Getting them out as in like getting them out of me or like releasing them?
Just actually having an audience where it's just yourself and a guitar.
Well, see, that's been a thing. So the open jams have always been run by Eric Gerke and Dave Armstrong, who are in the worst. And they have a few different guitarists that will host on different nights. It's been Dave Bashaw a lot. Isaac Dummer does one. And I think there's one other host that I'm forgetting. And the way that I started playing at those open jams, I was never really a host of those, but I would just show up and play a lot, and I would fill in sometimes. But I forced them to treat it, at least in my case, like an open mic, where I would be like, hey guys, I'm just going to sing some songs. These are songs that I wrote. You're not going to know them. You're not going to know what to do with them. But it's cool if you want to jump in and like turn this into a train wreck because the changes are coming and you don't know where they are, and that's almost kind of poor sportsmanship at a traditional open jam. The way you would think of it would be like, hey guys, what are we going to do? I don't know. You play something, you play something, you play something. And everybody kind of try to read each other and let the song go where it goes. Whereas I'm just like, nope, change is coming. I might look at everybody and be like, here it comes. And then change the time signature or something. You come to the open mic prepared to do something. And you do it on your own or with people that you bring with you. You bring your own equipment, do whatever you want. And nobody's going to jump on stage and start playing with you. You know what I mean? I developed a lot of different skills by participating in the jams and the open mics and stuff. Being comfortable on stage and in front of people and singing in front of people and using a mic in front of people. Keeping up with a band and doing it every week. And same with the open mics, and the open mics are kind of a more vulnerable sort of situation where all eyes are on you and you have to present everything. And when you screw up, it's out there. It's not like in a jam. It's like, oh, hit the wrong note. Everybody heard that,
So what's coming up? What are you excited for? I know we talked to Eric a few weeks back, the drummer for the worst. I hear there's new music coming down the line for that too, right?
Yeah. We've gone through different iterations of what we're going to do with a recording. We've got like 11 or 12 songs ready to record. But if we're going to go to a studio, I think we're going to have to cut it down because our budget is a little tight. But we're going to do at least 3 songs. We haven't picked them out. And we're going to be recording them soon. And I think this release cycle is going to be a little bit quicker because we're not doing it all ourselves. You'll have to keep tuned to our social medias to learn about that.
Tuned to our social medias. Yeah. So, is that the best avenue for people to find out?
I encourage all avenues of communication. Yes. But Eric has been running our Instagram and Facebook accounts for a few years now. And he's really good at it. He's good at keeping up, keeping new stuff up on the page, try to keep people engaged. So if there's news, it'll be on the Instagram and the Facebook for sure.
Lacrosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at Lacrosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the Lacrosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.